Welcome to our doctrine or teaching part of the week. We're going to look at this concept called vicarious. Vicarious means substitute. Vicar is someone who is a substitute. And you can see on the picture right beneath me kind of what we're talking about here. We see Jesus as the king. That's why he's got the crown. And that Jesus over here, he has the crown and he gives it to the up arrow. The up arrow, it comes to us. He gives his righteousness, his perfection. He says, I'm going to let you use that. You can use my perfection as your substitution, because you got to get into heaven with perfection. And then you see the person's unrighteousness, his sin, come up to God. His sin come up to Jesus and laid on him. So Jesus was a substitute holder of the sin, and we're getting his perfection as a substitute. It's called the Great Exchange. It's the best trait ever, where it's called vicarious atonement, vicarious substitutionary sacrifice. He didn't just die on the cross as an example. He didn't just die on the cross because it was a good thing or because he couldn't help himself. He died on the cross so that when God looks at us as sinners and we should have to suffer, we won't have to, because he already did it in our place. Let's take a couple look at things here. How is Jesus' death vicarious? How is it a substitute? It's a substitute, so we would not have to. So we will die physically, but we're not going to die eternally because he already did. Just like if you had a bill, an electric bill, and someone paid it for you, the company wouldn't come after you. If you're in the drive-thru at McDonald's and the person in front of you pays for your car, you pull up to the window and they say, you're free to go, somebody paid for you. That's what Jesus did. He also lived perfectly in your place. In order to get into heaven, just like to get into the movies, you have to have something positive. God says you only get into heaven if you have a perfect record. And Jesus lived a human life in our place. He did everything we needed to do, grow and learn and do all that, except he did it perfectly, and he gave it up for us. So when God sees us, he sees you without any sin, because Jesus substituted in your place for the punishment. And then he sees you as if you were perfect, because as a substitute, you get everything perfect Jesus did. That's why it's called vicarious. You get this through faith. Jesus did it for the whole world. He paid for the whole world's sins. But you actually get the robe of his righteousness. You get swapped for, you get the substitution through what God gives you in faith. Again, it's not something you do. You don't earn it. You don't take it. But that's how you receive it, through the gift of faith. So where does the Bible say that? There's a lot of passages, but one key Bible passage is from Isaiah 53. The whole chapter talks about the great exchange, but you can see in the words, but he, this is pointing forward to Jesus, he was pierced on that cross for our transgressions. We had the bad stuff, our transgressions, that where we crossed the line. He received the punishment for that. He was crushed, not us, for our iniquities. The punishment that brought us peace, so we get the peace. The punishment was on him, and then by his wounds he was wounded. What do we get in exchange as a substitute? We get healed. We all, like sheep, have gone astray. Each of us has turned to our own way, just showing how we don't earn this substitution. We're like crazy, evil, go the wrong way people. But now here's the key verse in the highlight yellow. And the Lord has laid on him the iniquity of us all. The Lord looked at Jesus, and Jesus is the Lord, but the Lord, the Father, looked at Jesus and said, here's the world's sin. I'm going to let you carry it for them. You carry it for them. Just like if my wife was carrying something and I looked at my adult son and said, well, you carry that forward. I said, you grab those groceries. You're the son. You carry it. He's carrying it in her place, so she doesn't have to. And Jesus has carried your sin, so you don't have to. And that's why we're all excited about the vicarious atonement of Jesus. It's a substitute. It's what he did for us. We're happy that he is a vicar for us, that he had a vicarious atonement for us. And now we get to be in heaven because of his vicarious work.